Italy and Belgium kick off their campaigns for the World Cup qualifiers for 2026. Will they get off to a fantastic start or will they get off to a bit of a whimper? We're going to take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're taking a look at match number 3, that's right, over the World Cup qualifiers in UEFA. That's right, with some nations heading into their third round of matches, but some kicking off their campaigns. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and you want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, World Cup qualifiers, World Cup itself, that's right, as of course the 2026 World Cup is around about a year away, goodness gracious me. But will the likes of Belgium and Italy get off to the fantastic start? And what about England? Can they make it a perfect start to the World Cup qualifiers? Well, we'll take a look in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the members and the patrons, you know who you are. But what we're going to do now, though, is, of course, revisit the last round of matches in the World Cup qualifiers over in UEFA. So sit tight, hold on, and let's get into it then, shall we, as we look back to the games that did take place way back in March, of course. So here we go. My predictions are on the right. The real deal is on the left. And I think I did okay with these. Have a look at it. Lithuania with a 2-2 draw over Finland. I went with a 2-1 away win. Close, but no cigar. Meanwhile, England with a 3-0 win over Latvia. I went with a 4-0 win. Albania did beat Andorra 3-0 as predicted. San Marino did lose to Romania 5-1. I went with a 3-0 win. Bosnia-Herzegovina picking up a 2-1 win over Cyprus. I went with a 3-1 win. Poland with a 2-0 win over Malta. I went with a 4-0 win in the Battle of the Flags right there. Meanwhile, Estonia picking up a 3-2 away win to Moldova. I did go with a draw. Liechtenstein did lose to Kazakhstan 2-0. I went with a 3-0 win. Gibraltar with a 4-0 loss to Czech Republic or Czechia. I picked up a 3-0 win myself. Montenegro with a 1-0 win over Faroes. I went with a 3-1 win. North Macedonia won and Wales won. Absolutely spot on. And Norway picking up a 4-2 win away to Israel in their matches, of course. So that's, of course, the situation over there, guys. What about the situations in the tables? Well, of course, some nations have yet to get going. We are going to see the likes of Denmark kicking off their campaign, I think. Maybe that's a question mark, but anyway, some other big boys still yet to play. Spain, France, Germany and Portugal in preoccupied with, of course, the Nations League finals and semi-finals, what have you, also on the same round of matches, of course. But this is the situation currently in games that have already taken place. Group G sees Poland with a perfect start. The Netherlands is yet to get going. Meanwhile, Bosnia-Herzegovina also with a perfect start. Romania not too far away either. Austria yet to get going in that one as well. Italy will get their campaign off to a go here. Norway, though, with the team to stop with, of course, a perfect record thus far. Into Group J, it's North Macedonia and Wales level pegging with 4 points in a tight group. Belgium get themselves up and running as well. England with a fantastic start with 2 wins at 2 and yet to concede a goal in their campaign. Serbia about to get moving. Czechia and Montenegro perfect for them so far. Croatia is about to rear their pretty little head as well to get themselves moving in the right direction. So, guys, these are the next round of games, and they're coming at you thick and fast. Of course, I think the matches are taking place over the 6th and the 7th. Maybe even more than that. I think that might be it, the 6th and the 7th. Of course, then the second round of matches will take place for the 9th through the 11th. So we're going to start with a trip to Malta, that's right, as they take on Lithuania, of course. So let's get into it. I don't know the venue, so we're just going to go for the numbers here. And that is Malta under Emilio Di Leo, the Italian. Of course, yet to get going in their table, which is Group G. And they're coming into without a win the last 3, including back-to-back defeats up against the Lithuania side under Edgardas Janukas, who is a legend over in Lithuania. They are third with just the 1 point, and that point was picked up last time around. Now, they played 4 times, these two nations, since 2006. 1 win for Malta, 2 wins for Lithuania. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Last time around, in Lithuania, it was a 2-0 win way back in October 2016. So Lithuania with the W. They also played in Malta most recently. When I say most recently, it's the most recent match. Back in October 2017, the reverse fixture of that match, it was a 1-1 draw. So the most recent match was in Malta. In fact, Malta have got back-to-back games unbeaten against Lithuania with their 1-0 defeat against them, stretching all the way back to November 2006. Malta, though, haven't scored a goal in the last 3 matches up against the Lithuania sides, who have scored 2 in the last 3 themselves. So goals might be sparse in this one. I don't really have any odds, I don't think, on this match. So we're going to have to go for broke. And I think my broke says 1-1 draw in the end, a point apiece. Into the next round game. The next match, of course, it is Finland. That's right. They're coming up against the Dutchies. They're getting their campaign off. This, of course, on the 7th of June. Finland under Jaakko Friis are second right now, 4 points on the board. A perfect start. Well, unbeaten start, should we say, for the Finns heading into sort of back-to-back games without a loss. The Dutch coming into this under Ronald Koeman, yet to get going. Of course, 42% form for them, but they're just 1 win in the last 6. Now, they played the Finns 8 times since 1970. 1974. They won 7 of them. They've lost none of them. And there's been 1 draw between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at Finland, it was the most recent match back in September 2011. It was a 2-1 win for the Dutch. In fact, like I said, 7 wins out of the last 8. The only hiccup was back in Finland. It was a 1-1 draw way back in June 1991. The golden generation of the Finns is long gone, but the Finns are on the back of a back-to-back games without a loss, picking up a win away to Malta and also away, picked up a draw against Lithuania in the last round of matches. Of course, the Dutch on the back of that knockout close game, though, against European champions Spain. 2-2 it was in the first leg, and the Dutchlands, and then penalty shootout in Spain. But of course, they were on the receiving end of that. Again, got no odds. Going to go with the Dutch, though, on this 2-0 win. Comfortably done. And of course, looking good already to kickstart their campaign. Next up, we go Bosnia-Herzegovina up against San Marino, also on the 7th, coming at you over in Bosnia under Sergi Babes. They are top of the pops right now, back-to-back wins, 6 out of 6, unbeaten in the last 3. Up against San Marino under Roberto Schivioli. They are down into 5th right now, no points thus far, but they've won once in the last 6. But they played Bosnia twice since 2005 and lost back-to-back. With the most recent match being in Bosnia back in October 2005. It was a comfortable 3-0 win for Bosnia, who are on the back of a couple of wins themselves. They beat Romania in Romania, and they also beat Cyprus in Bosnia in March. So back-to-back wins for them. As for the San Marinos, they did lose to Cyprus, they did lose to Romania, but they did get a goal against Romania at San Marino. This is, of course, a different kettle of fish here. I think Bosnia are one of the teams to fear in this group, of course. And I'm going to go with a win for Bosnia, comfortably so, 3-0 win. In the end, also on this same match day, June the 7th, it's Austria against Romania. Big one over in Group H, of course. Ralf Rangnick's Austria are 4th right now. I don't think they've got going, I don't think. Winless in the last 3. Of course, they have got going. They've just not been performing at all. No, they haven't. They haven't. That was in the Nations League promotion relegation, of course. Romania, though, coming into this looking pretty good right now. 5 wins in the last 6, 83% form. They are second with 3 points. Of course, they played Austria 7 times since 1986, 2 wins apiece and 3 draws. The most recent match in Austria was a 3-2 win for Romania back in September 2020. That was in the Nations League. Of course, the most recent match between these two sides was in fact in Romania. It was a 1-0 win for Austria. So they've exchanged victories in recent times at the opposition venue. Of course, the last time Austria picked up a win against Romania at Austria was way back in April 2009. Austria, like I said, on the back of those Nations League matches against Serbia, they pretty much ultimately came out on top on the when they came out on the losing end of that, losing of the 2 legs. Which, of course, probably saw them relegated in their Nations League. Meanwhile, Romania on the back of a loss to Bosnia. Of course, an impressive win against San Marino, but looking to bounce back here and now against heavyweights Austria. Tricky one, this one. Could go either way. I think I'm sitting on the fence. I am 2-2 on this one. Point to the back for Romania, but, of course, a couple of points lost, you would imagine, for Austria. Estonia, they're up against Israel, coming at you in Estonia. That's, of course, in Group I. Jürgen Henn is the coach there for Estonia. They're second right now with 1 win, 1 defeat over the last 2 matches. Up against Israel under Ran Ben Shimon. They sit third with 3 points, of course, a win and a defeat thus far in their qualification campaign. They played 3 times since 2006. Nothing for Estonia, 3 for Israel, and there's been no draws. Now, the last time they played in Estonia, it was a 1-0 win for Israel way back in September 2006. With the most recent match against these opposition was the reverse fixture in this World Cup qualifying campaign. So this will be the second time I played in this campaign already. It was in, Israel were the hosts, 2-1 winners it was back in March. Israel, though, not bad form of late. Just the 1 defeat in the last 4. That 1 defeat was against Norway most recently. Estonia, though, picking about 3-2 away win against Moldova. So an okay start, but maybe a chance for them to get their name in the game here with a result against Israel. It's going to be tricky again. I do think Israel have got some talent, especially in this group. I think it's going to be a bit bridge too far for Estonia. I'm going to 2-0 win. Israel to take it. On the night, let's go to Norway then as they take on Italy. That's coming at you on June the 6th. That's right, Stalaso back in the coach there for Norway. They've won 4 on the spin, 5 out of the last 6. They top of the pops with 6 points out of the possible 6. Italy kicking off their campaign in the World Cup qualifiers. They're 4th right now. We're winless in the last 3. Of course, that's stretching back into the Nations League. They've played 9 times, Norway, since 1938. 1 win for Norway, 6 wins for Italy. 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Norway, it was a 2-0 win for Italy way back in September 2014. They last played in Italy, the same campaign, back in October 2015. It was a 2-1 for Italy in Italy. So Norway's rendition against Italy is okay. It's a little bit like 33% form. Of course, they've won one, they've lost one, and they've drawn one against Italy when they have hosted them in Norway. Norwegians are on the back of some goal-scoring exploits as well. I'm looking back, they've scored, what we're looking at, 10, 18 goals in the last 4 games combined. So they've got the goal-scoring touch. I think if now's the time for Norway to get themselves into contention. I've gone with a 2-1 win, though, for Italy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Norway snatched this with a rusty Italy, with a long old season domestically, with, of course, European competitions galore. Yeah, Italy getting the win, though, leggy, but Norway could snatch it. Let's go North Macedonia then, shall we, as they take on Belgium, also kicking off the campaign on the June the 6th. North Macedonia and Blagodo Milivski, they're top of the pops right now, 4 points out of a possible 6. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches up against Belgium under Rudi Garcia, just 1 win in the last 6. They are 4th right now. They've played North Macedonia 4 times since 1994, nothing for North Macedonia, 3 wins for Belgium, and there's been 1 draw between the 2 sides. Last time around at this very country, it was a 2-0 win for Belgium way back in March 2013. The reverse fixture was also a 1-0 win for Belgium in Belgium, same campaign. So Belgium unbeaten against North Macedonia over the last 4. They haven't conceded a goal against them in the last 3. In fact, they've scored 8 goals against them in those last 3 matches. North Macedonia, though, picking up a win in Liechtenstein on their first day. Of course, a draw against Wales at home last match. As for Belgium, of course, coming into this on the back of that Nations League nonsense back in March. But they, Rudi Garcia's got some points to prove and some concerns about the Belgian side right here, right now. Golden generation's long gone, but they've still got a lot of talent in Belgium. I do think they'll be a force to be reckoned with. We've gone with the draw here, point apiece, which isn't a bad result when you look at the grand scheme of things. Let's go to Wales then, as they take on Liechtenstein. Come at you in Wales. Of course, Craig Bellamy's doing a fantastic job, sitting 2nd right now, 4 points on a possible 6. Unbeaten in that list the last 6 matches. Liechtenstein under Konrad Frumstruck, they are 5th. I think 4 defeats on the spin, 25% form for them coming into this. They played each other 3 times in 2006. Wales have won all 3 of them. Have scored 8 goals in those last 3, and they picked up a 2-0 win. The last time they played in Wales, way back in October 2008. The last time they played each other ever in any venue, it was in Liechtenstein in the same campaign back in October 2009. Also a comfortable win for Wales, who have yet to concede a goal against them. The Welsh, though, on the back of that 1-1 draw away to North Macedonia, which is not a bad result. The Liechtensteinians have just got 1 goal in the last, what are we looking at? 5 matches. That was against San Marino, which they did also lose. The last positive result was a draw against Gibraltar way back in October 2024. The bookies will probably go with the Welsh on this one, and I've definitely gone with the Welsh. I've gone 4-0 win in the end for Craig Bellamy's boys. Into the final 4 we go is Andorra. They're going to be taking on England on the 7th of June. Of course, Caldo Alvarez for the Andorrans there. They are 5th right now, no points on the board. Winless in the last 4, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against England, Thomas Tuchel, top of the pop, 6 out of 6, 5 wins on the spin, and have played Andorra 6 times, winning all 6, including the last time they played in Andorra, which was the most recent match back in October 2021. It was a 5-0 win for England. They've scored, 15 goals against them in the last 3. Of course, coming into this, though, the English on the back of successive home wins, a 2-0 win at home to Albania and a 3-0 win over Latvia. Andorra, though, haven't scored a goal in at least the last 4 matches. The last positive result was a draw against Malta way back in November 2024. England should win this one and comfortably. I think Thomas Tuchel needs to get a good result, a positive result, maybe even a barnstorming result to get the guys on side here. I'm going to go with a not as impressive. I'm going with a 3-0 win for England. Again, they might be a little bit sheepish, a little bit leggy after a long old domestic season. Albania, they're next up against us, taking it against Serbia. Of course, coming to Albania. Slovenia, the coach right now, 2nd at the table, 3 points up a possible 6. 42% form for them right now. Up against Serbia under Dragan Stojkovic. I don't think they've got going yet. They're on 58% form, unbeaten the last 4, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played Albania twice since 2014, 1 win apiece, of course, and no draws. Now, the last time they played in Albania was the most recent match. It was a 2-0 win for Serbia back in October 2015. Goodness gracious me. Albania on the back of that 3-0 win over Andorra. They did lose to England in the campaign, so not great, not the perfect start there. As for Serbia, yet to get going in this campaign, but the last match was against Austria, which, of course, they did win 2-0. This was tough. Could go either way, and I might even be sitting on the fence on this one. No, gone with Albania. 2-1 winners in the end. Big win for them at home. Of course, they've got to win those games if they want to be playing in World Cup football. in 2026. Final couple here, Czechia against Montenegro coming at you also in Group L. That's right, Czechia perfect start, 2 wins out of 2, top of the pops, unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches up against Montenegro. Second in the table, also perfect, 6 out of 6. They're unbeaten in the last 3. When I say unbeaten, they've won 3 on the spin. Prosinecki in the dugout for Montenegro, even Hasic in the dugout for Czechia. They played 5 times in 2011. 5 wins Czechia, nothing for Montenegro. There's been no draws. Last time around, of course, at this in Czechia, 3-0 winners it was back in June 2019. The reverse fixture, or not the reverse fixture, the most recent match they have played, whether it's home or away, was a 4-1 win for Czechia back in June 2023 in a friendly in Montenegro. Czechia on the back of that 4-0 win over Gibraltar, back-to-back wins. They, of course, have been quite low-brow opponents. As for Montenegro, the same opponents, back-to-back wins for them. They've won 3 on the spin as well. In their own backyard. Last time Czechia were at home was a 2-1 win against the Faroes. This one, though, tight, airtight, could go either way. Going to go with the 2-0 win for Czechia to take the 3 points and, of course, galvanise. And then finally, folks, we go to the Rock. It's Gibraltar taking on Croatia. Of course, Gibraltar under Scott Wiseman, bottom of the pile right now. Back-to-back defeats for them. And against Croatia under Zlato Dalic. Third right now with 50% form for them heading into this one. Lost 2 and drawn 2. They've played Gibraltar just the once. It was back in 2015. It was a 4-0 win for Croatia in Croatia. Now, this will be the first match they played in Gibraltar. And the last match for the Gibraltans at home was a 4-0 loss to Czechia. Meanwhile, Croatia's last match was a penalty shootout loss to France, of course, in the Nations League quarterfinals. So they're going to bounce back, but of course, get their World Cup campaign off to the perfect start. And I think they will do just that here, comfortably so. 4-0 winners in the end to take it to the house and, of course, give themselves a big fat 3 points. That, my friends, is what I think will happen in this coming match day in the World Cup qualifiers. We'll have the next round of games not too long after this one. So make sure you subscribe, smash the like. Catch you all later. But until then, guys and girls, we're done.